Hey guys, thanks so much for checking out my channel. I really appreciate it. Please click to subscribe. The manhunt continues for the person who shot and killed Charlie Kirk. I have the latest in this episode on what police are telling us and what they may not be telling us behind the scenes. They say they still don't know who the suspect is. Is that actually the case? Could there be more that they know? The latest on the manhunt coming up in this edition of Brian Ensign Investigates. Hey guys, so I'm outside the university now where it's still an active manhunt that's happening looking for the man who shot and killed Charlie Kirk. I want to show you these new photos. These are brand new photos that the FBI has released. Another batch of photos from security cameras here on campus so you can get a really good look. This is the person of interest. You can see the shirt is really significant. There's like an American flag on it. The hat, the shoes, these new pictures that came out. The governor was really making a point to emphasize the shoes because they're Converse. And you can see there's a side angle. He's wearing a backpack, a closer view of the shirt, the hat, the glasses, anything that you might recognize could be helpful. Again, here's a better picture of the Converse as he's going up the stairs, and then there's a picture from the back. Sorry if I sound really tired. It's just kind of been a day. I'm going to walk you through everything. I also have the former FBI agent that I interviewed last night on again to help me understand some of the weird things that happened today. I'm going to get to that in a second, but I want to show you this video. This is surveillance video that was also released today from the FBI. And so this is a surveillance camera that is back behind the amphitheater where Charlie Kirk was shot. And you can see when it zooms in, look on the top of the roof there, and you're going to see the suspect running on the top of the roof. He runs across the top very fast, and then they zoom in here, and you see he is now climbing over the side. He puts his sort of feet down on a ledge there, and then he jumps down, and then he starts running through the field. And look again, close up here. He's got the backpack. This is after he's shot Charlie Kirk. He puts his feet down on the ledge, and then he drops down, and he starts running across the field. And you can see as he runs through the parking lot, and then there's a perimeter. Look, there's even a car that's driving by, and he kind of slows down there. I don't know if that's because he doesn't want to look suspicious. And then he crosses over the perimeter road and goes and then drops the gun on the other side. And you can see that he's just sort of blending in now, walking. What's interesting is TMZ had this video from a security camera in the neighborhood in the back there, behind the campus where he took off, and you see him limping, which was very interesting to me. They had video of him going to the campus and leaving the campus, and you see him limping, which I think is him concealing the rifle. I think the gun is underneath his shirt and in his pants, and that is why he is limping, because it doesn't make any sense when you look back at this surveillance video again. And I'll show you one more time. You see after he drops down, he very clearly is able to run without a limp at all. He's just running through the field, and there's no limp. So the TMZ video, which you guys can look up, where he is limping on his way to shoot Charlie Kirk, allegedly. I think he's limping, and based on some sources who I've spoken to, like former FBI agents and stuff, that because he's concealing the gun. So we'll have to wait and see, but it's very strange because why is he limping in that video but then able to run so easily in this surveillance video? I want to show you a couple other pieces of video that I got today. This is from that area where you saw him running. This is video. They've got it all taped off. This is where he left the gun, where he dropped the rifle. I was out there right when the FBI got there, and they ended up pushing me way back, but I was able to get that video. And then this is video of the roof. Initially, when I saw the ladder, I thought that perhaps he used a ladder to get up on the roof, which would have been very, very similar to when President Trump was shot in Butler. Um, but now that we have this surveillance video where you can see when he drops down, that is the same exact area where I saw that ladder today. So the ladder was not part of the shooting. The ladder was something that they put up, the investigators. So I just want to clear that up because I made kind of a point to show you guys the ladder earlier. Also, back to the surveillance video, when you see him run to the edge before he jumps down, you see him kneel down. That is where they were able to get the like forearm. How did they describe it when they said there was like forearm prints and footprints? It was right there, right before he jumped down, because there's gravel up there on the roof. So that's where they were able to get those prints, which will come in handy. Let me go through my notes here and see what else I'm leaving out from today. So the Utah governor. Okay, so let me walk you through what happened today with the press conference situation, because this was kind of interesting. So they said this afternoon that they were going to have another press conference. And there were sort of rumblings that things may be happening behind the scenes. And then they came out about 45 minutes before that press conference was supposed to start, and they came to all of our media tents and said, we're postponing the press conference. We don't have an update on a time, but we're postponing the press conference. So a lot of us thought that that meant that something may have been happening behind the scenes. Hours and hours and hours went by. We got video of FBI Director Kash Patel arriving here in Utah, and then he arrived here at the university and went into the command center. And then they announced that there was going to be another press conference this evening, and they listed the speakers. It was it was Kash Patel. It was also the special agent in charge and two other people. So that press conference, I think it was supposed to start at 7:30 local time, 7:30 Mountain Time. So that's delayed. That starts like 15 or 20 minutes late. Sorry, there's a motorcycle going by. And when the press conference begins, it's just the governor of Utah who speaks. Kash Patel is there, but he doesn't speak at all. And the governor of Utah says, we're not going to take any questions. And I'm just going to give you this new information. He basically gave those new photos that I just showed you. He gave the new surveillance video, and said that they're still on the hunt for the suspect, and that there wasn't much more of a significant update. But it was kind of strange that Kash Patel was there but didn't speak and was just standing there when we were expecting him to speak when he was on the list. So one thought I have is there may be a lot more information that they have that they're not sharing, which I'm going to ask Steve, my former FBI agent friend, in a second. You're going to hear our conversation. But I think that there could be more information that they have. They may know more than one that they're letting on. They may know who this person is and just be trying to trick them in a sense. I just think it was interesting that it started late and that Kash Patel didn't speak. The whole thing was strange to me and made my spidey sense think there's something else going on here, and that there could be an update coming very, very soon. In fact, that's why I'm still out here at the university right now. I think also a lot of the police have left, I noticed. I get the sense that there's a big development coming, but we'll have to wait and see. But the way the press conference situation went down was just kind of strange. At that press conference, though, the Utah governor did say that they will pursue the death penalty, but they have no suspect in custody and no name yet. Another thing that I thought was strange. I've never seen anyone say they're going to pursue the death penalty before they actually have the suspect in custody. But that's what he did. What he said that they've conducted over 200 interviews. They were urging anyone with information to come forward, and there's now a $100,000 reward being offered by the FBI. So that's important and new. Let's see what else there is from today. I took my notes here in X. You guys saw all the new photos. The $100,000 reward. I'm glad everyone's seen the photos, because that's really, really important. That was pretty much the extent of it. So I want to play for you now my interview with former FBI agent to talk through some of these things. And again, I think based on what I'm seeing with my own eyes out here that we're going to get a pretty significant update soon. I'm going to try to stay out here. Most of the other media has left, but I will probably try to stay out here for a while just to see what happens. But I'm joined now by Steve Moore, retired FBI agent. He was also on the podcast yesterday. He's been following all this very, very closely. First of all, Steve, my initial question coming out of that press conference was, do you think they really don't know who this person is?
I don't think that they are clueless as about who this person is, but I think they're looking to dial this in just a little bit. It seems contradictory because they had a footprint, they had allegedly a palm print, but that doesn't mean the person's ever been fingerprinted. They have the rifle. If they have a palm print, they may have other prints on the rifle. So they could be at a point where they just need a quicker break, a quicker resolution to this, so that this person, if they're thinking about it, they might try to get to a country who won't extradite them with the death penalty on the table.
It just seemed compared to the press conference yesterday, well, first of all, the list ahead of time showed that Kash Patel was supposed to speak, that the special agent in charge was supposed to speak. There were four speakers, and then it was delayed. They said it was going to start, then it started 15 minutes late, and it was just the governor who said, I'm not going to take any questions, and seemed to just have a very controlled, like thought out message.
I love that. I really did like how that was handled, because what happens in these pressers sometimes is you see 50 people standing behind the speaker, and they say, now this person gets their picture on TV, and now this person. So that is kind of irritating to me when the people, I saw something, and this is not to denigrate Kash Patel or anybody else, but the people who are investigating that are in the field right now. They're in the streets. They're at the command post. And I saw the headline: Kash Patel is coming out to Utah to assist. Well, it's not. He's not an investigator. The people out there don't need distractions.
Do you think he came? You've got to imagine President Trump is not happy that this shooter hasn't been caught. I mean, you know, it's a terrible thing that happened. The whole country is upset. Do you think he came to sort of be like, you know, say, we got to get on this? I mean, to sort of rally the troops a little bit?
When there is a major tragedy like this, usually somebody like the director will come out. When I worked at Jewish Community Center school shooting in Granada Hills, California, Janet Reno came out, and it is kind of a signal to the American public that the government is taking it seriously. I think we can all speculate on whether or not Donald Trump would be somebody who would be satisfied with the slow pace of a case. But I can tell you that putting pressure on the agents will not come close to speeding this up.
In terms of the new video that they showed of the shooter, dropping down from the roof and then running off, what stood out to you there?
Boy, just reminded me of John Wilkes Booth breaking his leg on the stage after shooting Lincoln. It struck me that he hadn't practiced that. That was just his decision to go down there. He was obviously carrying the rifle. It looked like it was a non-rigid bag, kind of probably a zip-up bag or something improvised, but the rifle appeared to be with him, and it looked like he, you know, uh, may have done some damage to his ankle when he landed. But it to me was the least planned part of this whole thing. Obviously he may have done his track out of the area, uh, uh, case that, but the jump off there was the first time he had done it, I'm sure.
Just to go back again to a point you made, you think they have some information. I mean, they put out new photos of the suspect 45 minutes before the press conference asking for the public's help. The governor was very clear during the press conference how much they need the public's help. There's $100,000 reward. Do you think they're bluffing?
No, no, I think they really do want to get this resolved faster rather than slower. And I think the type of investigation you have to get into now is kind of a plodding scientific type of investigation that is kind of time consuming, and they are still hoping for a big break that moves the ball down the field. I mean, what's going on right now is the FBI is going to try to move the ball 50 yards down the line on the ground, three yards at a time. What they're hoping for is a Hail Mary pass and score. And so it's not that they don't have the ball and aren't moving it. It's that it's not moving particularly quickly right now, and everybody starts to get agitated when that happens.
But if they knew the name, why have the press conference that way and show the photos and say, $100,000 reward? I mean, do you think they actually know the full name, or you think they just know something?
If they know the name, if they actually know this person's name, then they can write a book about him already. So if they actually know the name of the person, then this could have been something to make the suspect complacent. Because, see, first of all, you pointed out that the press conference was not as it was planned originally. So to me, what that means is some new thing came in the time that they were planning this, and they felt that whatever that new thing was, really kind of brought them to the point where they didn't want to have a long, involved, detailed presser. This was just, here's some photos and now we're gone.
What about the fact that the suspect left the rifle? There's a little wooded area behind the campus. It's just off the perimeter road. It's not far away. It's maybe, I don't know, a couple hundred yards from where the shooting happened, and he ditched the rifle. Does that surprise you?
A little bit, a little bit. But see, Brian, what I would need to know as an investigator is there any physical evidence in that rifle? For instance, are there fingerprints on the rounds that were put into the rifle? Are there fingerprints on the rifle? If so, that would indicate to me that the person's plans were kind of going south. They didn't want to carry that rifle anymore. Maybe they hurt themselves and were having a rough time moving. I don't know the answer to that, and I could be completely wrong. But it does not seem to be in their best interest to leave the rifle behind. At the same time, it might indicate that they were trying to blend into a crowd, and a rifle makes that hard.
What about the fact that this person was caught on surveillance camera, not only inside the university? And I just go back to yesterday, a lot of people, oh, this person might be professional, it was a hit job, but caught on surveillance camera inside the university, and then also on the ring cameras just walking through the neighborhood. You would think someone professional would know not to do that.
No, this is not professional. This is not a professional who was hired to do this. This is a person who did it angrily. A person who is a professional doesn't leave etched markings on his bullets. This is kind of like a passion killing almost, if you'll excuse the bastardization of that use. This is a person who was so mad that they had to make points. They didn't just want to kill the person. They wanted to leave points, and they wanted to let people know that they had done it. Very, very reminiscent of the executive who was killed in New York not long ago.
I mean, we talked last night about this time. Are you surprised that 24 hours later, there's still no one in custody? Did you expect this?
I didn't expect it to go this long. In fact, I can tell you all day, I've been sitting by my phone, while I'm doing other things, thinking any minute now there's going to be a suspect arrested, announcement that they're arrested. I still think that. I think we're still on an any minute basis. If we go 4 days, 5 days, then things start to cool down. This is not like the standard murder where there's no motive. We've got the motive. We've got the motive. We've got the gun. We've got some prints, and we've got excellent video. So this is not going to be, as I said, a whodunit. But and here's the other thing: they've got video of him doing all these things. But it's kind of like statistics. What they show is important, but what they hide is crucial. What's going on here is what the police and FBI are telling you is important, but what they're not telling you is what they're working on. By showing these photos, do you know what they did? They didn't say a word about what they were doing. And so to me, they're not sitting there, twiddling their thumbs. I believe that in all those videos, there's some significant information. For instance, just looking at that photo, I thought it's possible that he had a pistol in his belt. There was indications of that. In some of the videos, there's somebody walking ahead of him. Well, I don't know if that person's significant or not, but all these different things that we don't know about, all these moving parts that they are, I think, very cleverly hiding, because in the presser, they gave us something. Here you have this, take this, take this. Oh, good pictures and everything. And nobody got to ask a question, and nobody told the public what they're doing.
Does the FBI have a way when they get these surveillance images of someone's face to put it into like some kind of database where, I mean, because I was thinking about President Trump today said when he was asked about this, he said they're on a digital manhunt. That's the way he described it. Do they have a way of tracking someone if once they have a facial image?
They're working on it. Excuse me. That's all I can say. When I came in the bureau, the DNA was just coming in. When I entered the bureau, we had never tried a DNA case, and so we had to go through all the hiccups and all that when DNA came in. Right now, facial recognition software is one of those things where it's not a matured science yet. It's not a mature technology. Plus, you need a database from which to, search these things. Say if you can get some kind of picture or some kind of code that perfectly describes that face, well, then you have to decide what you're going to compare it against. And right now, there's about 350 million people in the United States.
I was inside there last night before they shut everything down, and I could see all the agents, and they were all in different rooms, all huddled together. And I was just thinking today, when Kash Patel shows up, when, I mean, again, the country is enraged by this assassination. Does when you worked for the Bureau, I mean, is there a certain level of pressure that you feel in a situation like this?
Oh, it's immense. It's immense. You get calls from people that you've only seen on the news, and there are pointed questions about, when is this coming back, or when are you going to get results from this, and why haven't you tracked this, and why haven't it? It's like people who don't know the case. Are questioning you about it. And what's frustrating about that is every time you have to sit in a room for an hour and brief an executive, that's an hour you're not investigating. And
Mm.
they tend to take the case agent, the one who's in charge of the investigation, and pull them out for a while. That's like taking the pilot out of the cockpit of an airliner and bringing him back to the back to talk to him. So while it's necessary, and I understand that the government has to be kept informed, it is somewhat of a chore. We used to call it feeding the beast. Every day they need their food. You have to feed the beast on these cases.
What do you think it means that we haven't seen any helicopters up around, or really, it doesn't feel like a manhunt right here at the university?
No, it's not that type of manhunt. There are exigent manhunts where the person is in the area. There are and now we've gone past that. So there's really nothing to look for, because you have no reason to believe that this person could be, I mean, could be obviously, but would be in the area. And what you do is you kind of do a mental mental graph of how far you can get in the time that's transpired. Well, we've gone 24 hours. You can get a lot of places in the United States in 24 hours. So there's no point in doing a ground search or some type of physical search for somebody that you're really not sure about.
All right, I appreciate Steve for talking with me again tonight. Again, I'm sorry if I sound really tired. It's been a really, really long day. I want to show you there's this memorial that's been started out here for Charlie Kirk. A lot of people coming by and bringing flowers. I've met so many nice people out here. A lot of people are very, very emotional. This part of Utah, there's no crime really. People are not used to these kinds of things happening. So it's been difficult for them. So many people in town were at the event and just are traumatized by it. I interviewed a family today. The dad had to dive on top of his baby. It was scared after he heard the first shot. So people are traumatized. My heart goes out to them. I hope this is over soon. I have a feeling that it's going to be. And I'll keep you guys posted if anything else develops. All right, see you guys later.